Hello motorcyclist, today we have a new subject, battery maintenance. So we have this problem that when we are not riding, we will forget our bikes sometimes. This happens more if we have more than one bikes. That is the case with many of us. So we may be riding one of our bikes sometimes, we leave the other one mostly untouched. What happens? That means our battery in our bike is in a discharge state. What does that mean, discharge state? So most of our bikes sold in India or abroad, they are coming with a lead acid battery, something like this one. This one made by Exide, something that comes with 36 months of warranty. But it is not just about getting that life that they says. It's about not getting stranded somewhere in the middle of some village where you don't have any support. So it is important to maintain the battery because lead acid batteries are one of the oldest. Lead acid batteries are some of the oldest type of batteries that is still in use because of some good features of it. What is that good feature? Because you cannot use a lithium polymer battery on an automobile because it drains super fast in cold weather. So obviously you have to use a motorcycle on cold weather as well. So it is not ideal to use a solution based on lithium polymer battery, even though it have higher charge density. Today we are still using the good old technology, lead acid accumulator. So what can we do? Maybe one thing we can do is sit down and pray to God. Oh my dear God, please salvage my dead battery, or even don't cause any damage to my battery. Generally this won't work. So there is something better we can do. To do that, we need to know what happens with the battery when we are not doing anything to the battery, when we are not taking care of the battery. Basically, two things we have to do, two ways we can charge a battery. So what happens when the battery is in a discharge condition? So when you are not riding the bike, you are keeping the bike intact, everything is safe, covered, but that means inside your battery there is this lead sulfate crystals forming around your electrodes. That is the word. So between your electrodes these things forms, and once your electrodes are completely covered with this lead sulfate, it becomes very non-conductive, and battery stops accepting any charge. So that means your battery will become unchargeable, not rechargeable. That means the death of the battery. So sulfation is the predominant issue we need to fight. How to fight sulfation? So if you are constantly charging the battery, if you are giving charge cycles to the battery, sulfation will not happen, because when it is under charge, whatever sulfation happens, it will dissolve into the electrolyte and your battery will be not dying down as easily as otherwise. So sulfation, how to fight sulfation? Charging can be done two ways. One is when you ride at a reasonable speed, your charging unit on the bike will be making enough power to charge your battery, because you will probably be discharging the battery as well. This depends on two things. If you have a lamp running all the time, there is greater chance of discharging, because in that situation you have to be riding at a reasonable speed, or don't even think that it is charging. Okay, so that is one way of charging it. If you are riding enough, that's good enough. But if you are not riding the bike, you have to find out an external means of charging the battery. So there is few ways, like you can take the battery off the bike, charge with a simple DC supply of regulated voltage as well as current rating. That will give you the most basic of charges. But for me, I will be using something called Optimate 3. This guy here helps me to salvage even really sulfated batteries. Something that is as low as 2 volts can be brought back to life using this device, as they claim. But you know, if you are doing adequate maintenance, you will not face that issue. So how is that charging done? You will connect this charger to the AC supply on your wall socket, and you plug the charging clips onto your battery and leave it there. This particular charger can, you know, charge this battery. This is a 9H battery. Probably this will be done in 9 hours. So it is not a super fast process. You have to be you know, patient with this process. So let it sit there and charge it. But remember a few things. This guy here, this battery, will be constantly putting out some hydrogen gas. So don't go light up your match near to that and die down. Okay. So be careful with this guy. So is the charger. So even if it is not putting serious amperes, still it is better. Be careful. Don't put the thing in water and something that can cause some damage. And it is always good to keep the battery a bit away from the charger, because the hydrogen emission from the battery should ideally not go directly to the charger. So that is very important. And one thing, guys, if your charger is not designed to charge the battery when it is connected to the bike, ideally you should avoid that. If you directly connect your homemade charger to the battery on the bike, if a surge comes, or if the supplied amperage goes beyond certain level, you can probably damage your wiring harness on the bike. So it is not a great idea to do. So always take the battery off and charge it. I'm doing that thing here, but this guy here has some additional features that I will be explaining in another video when I review this Optimate 3, which allows you to maintain your battery directly onto your bike even when under storage. That is super cool feature by any means, because you need not plug the battery off the bike and do such charging on the shelf and put the battery back into the bike. All this hassle is free. So why it is so important to maintain? Apart from the longevity, as I said earlier, once I had this problem, I was riding through some internal roads in Karnataka and my battery just died down. Why? Is it because I am not maintaining my bike? Definitely not, because I have given my bike to service center, and 2-3 days before the ride, they have done the full servicing of the bike, including battery testing. The battery testing is a chargeable item for them. They charged me and tested the battery. So that is how the battery testing is done at the SVC. So I won't say you not to test them, but to test a battery properly, you need, for this device, it takes 12 hours continuously monitoring. Because when you charge a battery to full, even if it is a defective battery, it will show full capacity. And the thing is, once you put that on load, once the load is up, it discharges crazy fast. That is how a defective battery behaves. So many defective batteries will not be diagnosed on a half-cooked testing device at the SVC maybe. I don't know how good they are at different places, but that is my experience. So I will recommend you do your maintenance yourself, so that you need not face this problem of searching for a replacement battery in some remote areas. That isn't a happy thing, man. That isn't. So do this, charge your batteries, keep your bike at great mechanical conditions, and as always, ride safe. See you on another video. Bye bye from Kochu.